They're the defending champs for a reason. I just want to hit on Victor Wembanyama really quickly. We expect when the lights are the brightest, even though he is still incredibly young, for him to sort of level up his game one more. This is his shot chart tonight. Richard, you've called many of his games, seen him play up close several times. What can he change, learn going up against this in sort of a measuring stick?
Well, I would say, look, he didn't shoot the ball well from three. He's been shooting well from three for really the last couple of months. He's been on fire, but he's had a good season from three. One thing I will say this is the best team in basketball.
Yeah.
While he is a very good player.
He's number one on that scouting report.
Yeah, he is number one. That's the best team in basketball. Yeah. They're on pace to win another championship. This is one of those teams where it's like you can use it as a measuring stick, but they're not quite there.
But that's why you need your coaching staff to also help you, because sometimes coaches get caught up in these generational talents. And what I'm saying is put him in position a little bit better where he has easier looks. Tonight, when you look at this game, he didn't have easier looks. We didn't see a lot of rolling to the basket or some post-ups where he had position to be put in position to be successul.
Yeah, well, you know Victor, he doesn't want to hear that it's the defending champs. He wants to say, okay,
yeah, I'll tell him. I'll tell him.
Exactly. Every team in the NBA is in action tonight. It's one of 4 dates on the calendar that this happens. So let's check out some highlights around the association, starting with a huge night.
Ooh, behind the back.
Really, it's from the big bodega, but
okay.
This has been all about the New York.
What is it, big body?
Yeah, big body. Brunson with the wiggle.
You know what's crazy?
You know what it's called? The Brunson Boogie, baby.
The Brunson
Boogie.
Oh, I would say this, though. Atlanta and the Knicks, to me, that started becoming must-see basketball.
It's true.
Right? And the Knicks are showing out right now.
Karl Anthony Towns, 39 points in this one. 40 last night.
I love it.
But it is coming down to the wire here in the end of the second. But this game, look at 3-point game at the end of the third.
Oh.
Trey loves the garden.
Let's get to the Milwaukee Bucks and the Timberwolves here. No Dame, no Giannis in this one, but the Bucks hanging tough with Anthony Edwards.
Right there, that's the part that he's improved in his game. I think he's number 2 in the NBA and made threes behind the guy we're about to see in Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Well, and also make no mistake, guess who they do have? They've got Kyle Kuzma leading the way with 14 points.
Hey, that's
they got a legitimate score. I like the Bucks. I like where they're at.
18 points in this one. Second quarter here. And
somebody got to
find. You better find that man.
You better find that man.
Oh, they down 5?
He's been shooting that much more this year. This has been an interesting game for Miami Heat. Yeah, Bam has had himself a game here today.
And I love the shoe choice as well.
I
don't think it's there. I don't think those are the new ones.
Well, with no Chet manning the middle, Bam is really
He's coming on strong second half of the year.
And look, but this is what we've been waiting on, because at the end of the day, let's be real, he's had a down season, averaging about 15 and 8. This is the Bam Adebayo that we've
the last 2 weeks or so, yeah.
Look.
Let's check in on the Jazz and the Lakers here. A home-and-home series. We obviously saw them play the Jazz in Luka's debut. Jackson Hayes picking up where he left off last game.
Oh, Jackson Hayes, he's going to be one of the key Lakers the rest of the way. Oh, nasty!
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Said that it was going to take a little bit of time to get used to the pass.
Oh, my God.
Let me tell you.
Remember when they said that you said Dallas needed just a little bit more?
They got 3.5 players like that.
A minute later, LeBron pulling up for 3 there.
LA's known for magic, but they got a little different version of it now.
Yeah, this is a little bit of Luka magic. We'll update you as that game continues. But in the next game of our doubleheader here on ESPN, the Dallas Mavericks, speaking of Luka Doncic, taking on here the Golden State Warriors. And chaos maybe is really the only way to describe what has been going on in Dallas after the Luka Doncic trade for a variety of reasons. They haven't been able to stay healthy. Obviously, Anthony Davis, Derek Lively was already out. Daniel Gafford is out now as well. And then you have Jason Kidd not speaking after last game. He just spoke for the first time since that game, and he essentially said he needed some time to gather his thoughts. He didn't want to say anything that he would regret. How would you assess the state of the Dallas Mavericks right now, Rich?
Oh, it's not. I think it's a collective assessment. It's not just me.
We're all going to get to this.
I'm inviting
you as someone who can be the cause of chaos
to begin this dialogue. Okay, all kidding aside. they made a blockbuster trade, and then all of a sudden you have some injuries. Anthony Davis, who has been healthy the last few years, he has been on top of his game. He has been balling the last 2 seasons, even this year. So for that injury, that's a difficult thing. But what I will say this, they have all of the pieces. Just like every other team that struggles it, you could look at Philly, you could look at the Pelicans. If you're healthy, your season looks a lot different. And it's the same for Dallas. If they can get healthy, especially going into the postseason, I do believe that they don't have a weakness up and down their roster. They got point guards, they got defenders, they got bigs, they got wings, they got everything.
What's interesting is I've been trying to understand what has happened. I feel like a lot of us have in the NBA. And to me, what they've decided to double down on is their culture. And their culture being bigger than any one player. One player can't be bigger than the team. And the biggest lesson is losing Luka Doncic for that. But now you're going to see the grit and grind, right? Guys out of the roster, how do you build this culture? How do you hold yourselves accountable defensively? How do you still keep the requisite pieces engaged on both ends of the floor? We will see that happen. But again, you have to give them a little grace because this is not what they had hoped for immediately after the trade.
Yeah, but also it's not what you do, it's how you do it and how you handle things. And even listening to oh, there go Nico.
Yeah, that's the general manager, Nico Harrison, there, who's been
some spots up there. He's looking stressed.
Some grace.
Well, he's been, fans have directed a lot of anger towards Nico since this trade.
They have, and look, it was a very, very tough decision to make, but obviously he didn't just pull the trigger by himself. Right?
Amen.
So,
amen.
And it goes to this point, RJ. We talked about this earlier on NBA Today. When it comes down to the comments that the owner made about Luka and things to that nature, and I'm like, listen, I done played with so many franchise guys early in my career where beers was a thing in the locker room. Long as they went out and performed, damn it, nobody.
Richard,
really,
What? Heck yeah, there's 6 packs of beer.
When I played overseas, we had some women smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, I mean, but if they went out there and produced, damn it, that's what they done. But look, at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that those comments were unnecessary.
Yeah.
For the simple fact, it was a rookie mistake, and now this is your franchise. You're the owner of this franchise, and if you're going to treat Luka like that and say those things about him on his way out, a guy that has came and delivered in great fashion,
and the rest of the league respects.
What do you mean? What do you mean by rookie mistake? Like they were just a little bit too quick with speaking too much?
To me, like, if you're another superstar in the near future or star,
you're thinking
do you want to go to Dallas? How they just treated Luka after they traded him with the comments the owner said?
It depends on what you're cut from. If you're from the cut from the cloth where you want to compete at the highest of levels and play hard, the Miami Heat style of basketball, right? Then maybe that's what they're trying to build.
So I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here that Mavs governor Patrick Dumont, this is the quote you're referring to, Perk. He told the Dallas Morning News, if you look at the greats in the league, the people you and I grew up with, Jordan, Bird, Kobe, Shaq, they worked really hard every day with a singular focus to win. And if you don't have that, it doesn't work. And if you don't have that, you shouldn't be part of the Dallas Mavericks.
One thing I will say this. You could say one thing about Shaq. And Shaq, big fella, I love you. I have you as one of my all-time greats. You never questioned his work ethic when he was in the game. You only question his work ethic outside of the game. And did he work as hard? And even Kobe said this, they're not my words. But I can tell you from when you stepped on the court with Shaq, he was the most dominant player. That was the thing. So while people want to be critical, it's like, well, Shaq didn't have this great work ethic. It's like, look, I'm not saying that. But when Shaq was on that floor, it was an absolute problem. There wasn't, we can attack him and pick and roll, or we can dominate him, or we can make him guard, or we can make. There was no answer for it.
Now, with all of this as the backdrop, right, and the show, everything on the TVs around the American Airlines Center, there's a game that still has to be played. So how do the Dallas Mavericks turn the next chapter, or the next page, away from all of this, especially when you have that man on the other side tonight?
Well, you lean on your champion, you lean on your OG, you lean on your guy who's been a great leader since he's put on the Maverick uniform, Kyrie Irving, absolutely, and Klay Thompson. Now Klay Thompson brings in a bit of that leadership, and you get it done collectively.
Oh, well, and there's been a rejuvenation, really, in the Bay with Jimmy Butler as well. So
yeah, he's been playing really well, and he has that synergy with Steph.
Absolutely.
Already in 2 games.
Really opened up the floor for
Are we locked in?
Tip off from Dallas right after this.
Friend?
We're live then.
Hey.
The NBA on ESPN is presented all season long by State Farm. Like a good neighbor.
Welcome to Dallas, a city in turmoil and a fan base still steeped in confusion and disbelief. 10 days removed from the shocking trade of Luka Doncic, the face of the Mavericks, who now look to assure their faithful followers they're still on a title path despite an injury to their new centerpiece, Anthony Davis. Tonight, they welcome another player who recently relocated, Jimmy Butler, and his new running mate, Steph Curry, and the Golden State Warriors. Chaos surrounding tonight's game, yet it's just business as usual for Steph, hitting midcourt shot after midcourt shot in warm-up. And hi, everybody. Dave Pash with Tim Legler. We'll check in with George Sedano here in a little bit. All right, Legs, let's start with Golden State. Third game for Jimmy Butler with his new team. So far, so good for he and Steph Curry together. You could even say great so far for the two of them.
I don't think that's an overstatement when you look at the impact Jimmy Butler has had immediately on this team. We talked a lot about Jimmy Butler and his toughness and the Warriors needing some of that. That goes without saying. But he's had a tangible impact on what they're doing offensively, and it's been Steph Curry, I think, who's benefited the most from that. Jimmy Butler is helping to take the burden off of Steph, keep him fresher. Jimmy Butler here now, hoping the Warriors to start to climb in the West.
Conversely, you've got a Dallas team that has to heavily rely on one guy right now because not only is Anthony Davis out, they have a ton of other injuries in their front court, in their back court. They barely have a healthy enough roster to get through the game tonight.
Well, this offense in Dallas is going to look a lot different now that they've closed the book on the Luka Doncic era. Kyrie Irving is going to have a lot of that responsibility now, particularly with Anthony Davis injured. Kyrie Irving still one of the most electric guards in this league, and the Dallas Mavericks believe when Anthony Davis comes back, they've got a star tandem.
Take a look at the players that will be available for Dallas tonight, joining Kyrie Irving in the starting five. Oh, by the way, Klay Thompson's playing his former team. That is like story number 8 when you look at all the headlines for this matchup with the new faces and the injuries to the Mavericks. Max Christie, part of that trade from the Lakers for Luka, along with Kessler Edwards. Quentin Post back in the starting five for Golden State. They went with a smaller lineup on Monday in their win over Milwaukee. But Post back as the starting center against this undersized Maverick team. Its tallest player starting tonight, Olivier Maxence Prosper, who's listed at 6'8". Post is over 7 feet tall. And by the way, this is a huge game. You've got two teams trying to get out of the play-in tournament. Right now, Dallas is in 8th. The Warriors are in 9th, but in the loss column, they're tied. And they are just 3 games out of 6. That's where you want to get to avoid the play-in tournament. Here's Draymond Green, the lob for Butler. And there was some contact with Christie. Loose ball, turnover.
You saw the designed action right out of the gate. Jimmy Butler setting a lot of ball screens for Steph Curry, trying to force switches.
And you got Curry on Klay Thompson. Splash Brothers for over a decade as Prosper gets the basket. And now playing against each other for the 3rd time. Split the previous 2 meetings. Both had big numbers in the first 2 times as opponents. Loose ball. Butler gets the offensive rebound off the healed miss. He'll to try it again. Misses again, but there's Post. And that's what's going to happen when you're a smaller team.
What a find for Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors. Quentin Post has just been a revelation for them, giving them big minutes in the middle. And we see there the tip dunk, but he's been shooting the ball exceptionally well, can really spread the floor for a big.
Irving looking to drive, spins on heel, and Irving knocks down the follow-away. Irving had 30 points on Monday and lost to Sacramento here at American Airlines Center. Christie on Curry. And Curry in and out and then down. For just about everybody else in the world, that would have fallen off the rim, but for Steph, it drops.
Good identification by Draymond. He went to set a ball screen, but realized Steph Curry had a mismatch. So Draymond didn't want to muddle that up, got out of the way.
Curry has 4 straight 30-point games for the first time in 4 years. Last time he had 5 in a row 2016. He talked at length after their win against Milwaukee about just how much easier it feels to play offense with Butler out there, taking some pressure off of Steph, and also on the defensive end, the job that Butler does.
Yeah, Steph is putting up numbers right now in this scoring binge, 4 straight over 30, but he's taking a lot of shots to do it, 26 a night. Jimmy Butler should help get that number a little bit more reasonable.
Thompson's been playing well of late, couldn't get it. Butler with a dunk as the Warriors are able to get out in transition. So far, Jimmy Butler, 3 games averaging about 23 points per game. He averaged 17 per game in 25 contests with the Heat. Thompson drills a 3. Shooting 45% from deep over his last 9 games.
Yeah, he's really coming in a great rhythm, and you saw him right there. That's great lift off that downstream action. That is what's been missing a little bit from Klay these last couple of years, the ability to get off the ground on that shot specifically.
Post no good on the 3-point try. 7 for 11 from behind the arc the last 2 games. Irving gets downhill and gets the layup. Kyrie Irving off to a great start with a couple of buckets. Butler from Curry, can't finish, almost batted in and cleared by Prosper. Thompson off the bounce for 3, and it backs in.
Big smile on Klay's face. Doesn't matter. If you're a shooter, you'll take that all day long. Particularly as hot as he's been, keep that streak going.
At a season-high 7 threes against the Warriors in the last meeting. Curry catch and shoot, in and out. Curry hit the deck. And numbers for Dallas with Thompson pulling up for 3. Offensive rebound, Prosper. Christie will let it fly. That's good. What a start for the Mavs. Timeout, Golden State.
A lot of ways in life. I get the easy job. I'm playing one-on-one, or I'm playing in so much space. Everybody's looking for him, and everybody's looking to get him open. And at the same time, he's looking for everybody else. So it's so great to play with somebody like that.
Jimmy Butler's made an immediate impact in his 2 games with the Golden State Warriors, averaging 25, 5, and 5. He's only the 3rd player in Warriors history to do that in their first 2 games. I spoke to Draymond Green earlier today about Jimmy's impact, and he said, look, when we walk into the arena now, we feel like we can win any game, and we haven't felt like that in a while. He also lessens the burden on Steph in regards to the offense, and he said when he had a conversation with Steph, he said, this is our last ride, so this is the end of their championship window, Dave.
And George, you bring up the point about belief. It's not just belief in winning tonight, it's belief in what you can do in the playoffs as Hield hits a 3 because of Jimmy Butler's terrific postseason resume.
Yeah, one of the things that Jimmy Butler has never probably gotten enough credit for is his IQ for the game, his instincts, and that's why you can blend him in to this type of offense. His instincts defensively are going to help as well. But you saw right there the cross-court pass out of the post. That great read leads to a 3.
Curry, good play there to knock it away from Prosper. Throws it down court. Butler fouled by Klay Thompson. First foul on Dallas.
Second long outlet pass that Steph Curry has found Jimmy Butler here. Jimmy Butler leaking out selectively and rewarded both times, and he's going to go to the line right now. The easiest 2 free throws he'll get all night, but we'll talk more about that impact as well.
This might be a coach's challenge here, and it is from Jason Kidd.
Dallas is challenging the ruling of the floor of a deep.
Successful challenge by Jason Kidd. Clean block by Klay Thompson.
Yeah, that's what it looked like right away to me. You get the ball first, and then the follow-through with Klay Thompson's arm. That's when he comes down across Jimmy Butler's right arm. And I was wondering about maybe did Klay's left forearm get into his back. He really didn't. So tremendous track down by Klay Thompson.
And the Mavericks leading it by 6. 5 minutes gone by in the opening quarter. Edwards, mid-range jumper is good for Kessler Edwards, making his 5th start of the season. 4th-year player out of Pepperdine. No Dante Exum tonight. He would have been starting, out with an Achilles injury. E.J. Washington, another starter, out with an ankle. Daniel Gafford hurt 2 nights ago, knee injury. Expected to be out a couple weeks at least. Anthony Davis, as Green gets to the rim, he's out maybe up to a month. Although the Mavericks have yet to make an official statement on the length that Davis is expected to miss.
And that right there, that type of action is where you're really going to see the bigs missed for the Mavericks. You got 3 different shot blockers that aren't playing in this game. Draymond Green just goes right down the lane for an uncontested layup.
Yeah, we didn't even mention Derek Lively, who's out for a considerable amount of time. 13th straight game missed with a fractured ankle. And Dwight Powell, who's been out the last month with a hip injury. Prosper trying to track down the loose ball. Leaves it for Thompson. Fires a 3. Clay hit 2 earlier, but he's missed 2 in a row. Curry out in transition. Green may have gotten away with a push. Waiting for the official ruling. It's going to be on Prosper of Dallas. So foul that will send Green to the line for 2.
Yeah, hard to tell. We were sort of blocked out in this angle to see to what extent the left arm came out. I mean, the contact is made prior to Draymond extending, but there's no question he pushed off. But when the contact is made first by the defender, you're not going to get that one.
Jason Kidd has another challenge because he won his first one, but not going to use it there. He would not have one for the rest of the game. Let's take a look at our national TV schedule, brought to you by Old Spice. Tomorrow night on TNT, the last set of games before the All-Star break, and it's a good one with Oklahoma City, the best record in the West, at Minnesota. Friday on ESPN, Ruffles NBA All-Star Celebrity Game. And then you got the Castro Rising Stars 9 Eastern on TNT. For more, go to NBA.com or the NBA app. Green knocks down both free throws. Golden State back within 4. Kevon Looney checking into the game for the Warriors along with Payton. And Payton picked up the foul. It's his first. First on the Warriors. Also checking in Moses Moody for Golden State, who started in the Warriors' last game, a win over Milwaukee. Dallas gets Najee Marshall into the game, but they don't have a ton of depth because of the injury. Spencer Dinwiddie also on the floor right now, off the bench. Shot clock at 4. Prosper spinning on Looney, goes to the left and gets it off glass.
It's a great read. Wanted to go to the weak side of the floor, but there was an overplay, so he saw that Looney couldn't keep up with him. Off the dribble, got to the rim, and Steph Curry with a quick answer. Golden State really playing fast up the floor, makes or misses. They're getting into their offense very quickly.
That's Curry's first 3. 6 threes or more in 4 consecutive games for Steph Curry. He has the NBA record of 6 games in a row with 6+ made threes. Here's Irving, and he drills a 3 himself. Kyrie with the answer. And then a turnover. Irving with the easy 2. 5 quick ones for Kyrie. He's got 9.
Second time in this game, Steph Curry's had an outlet pass deflected. They're reading that.
Nice look by Curry. Payton way up there for the stuff. Second assist for Curry. Christie making his first start as a Maverick. Fouled by Curry, his first. And so Christie, the 30-year pro out of Michigan State, will shoot 2.
Kyrie, the beneficiary of a couple of plays that go his way. One off a deflection, then he gets the layup on the breakaway, but this is Steph Curry's answer to that. Gets downhill. Gary Payton on the backside. Nice to have a guard running along the baseline that you could throw it that high to.
Legs, we know obviously what Anthony Davis can do on both ends of the floor. What about this part of the Luka Doncic trade? How can Max Christie help the Mavs?
Yeah, make no mistake, you'd be remiss without saying what a big piece this was for the Dallas Mavericks. And J.J. Redick did not want to part with Max Christie, believe me, because he was starting to emerge for the Lakers, starting as well there, up to 25 minutes a night. They believe that his potential over the next few years is really unknown at this point because of how quickly he's evolved offensively. He guards, he can handle, and he's starting to develop into a very consistent shooter.
He's had 15 points in each of his 4 games as a Mav. Curry, nice pass to Podziemski. And the push shot from Podziemski is good. It's been interesting. There's a buzz in the arena just because the Warriors are here and they love their Mavericks, but we haven't heard any boos yet for anybody. We don't see any signs. There were several fans ejected the other night. This shot from the wing by Prosper. Rebound Looney.
My guess is you're going to get some nights like that. But the Mavericks have come out of the gate playing very, very well. So crowd very much into it, supporting them. A lot of electricity in here tonight.
There's a bonus. Gary Payton hitting a three. Just a 20% shooter from behind the arc.
Yeah, that's found money for Steve Kerr. If you get that from Gary Payton, he does so many things to help you win. That is not his strength.
Oh, Irving, so good with the handle. And then stopping on a dime and hitting that floater. He's got 11 on 5 of 7 from the floor. Moody will try it. No good on the three. Out of bounds to Dallas. We were talking about Christie and what he brings to the table. At some point, if Dallas can get their full roster, what Anthony Davis wanted in LA was to play the 4. He made that very clear. Well, he's going to get a chance to do that here because you have 2 guys that could play the center position, and we saw how great Gafford and Lively were rotating in the playoffs last year at that center position on their way to the finals.
Well, they certainly are going to be playing much bigger lineups than they have here in recent memory, and there are more teams sort of experimenting with 2 bigs at a time. Dallas will be able to give you that look when they get everybody back.
The floater by Dinwiddie is good, and Anthony Davis got off to a great start in his debut on Saturday against Houston. He had 26 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks, but then he hurt his adductor, and Shams Charania says he could miss up to a month. Butler with a kick out. Podziemski looking to drive again. Goes to the right hand, missed it. Looney there with the stick back. That's the second easy putback for Golden State.
And you see the rotation for Steve Kerr. Jimmy Butler comes back into the game for Steph Curry, and this is what the Warriors haven't had. A focal point offensively now to run their offense through while Steph Curry's on the bench.
Christie leaning in, may have dragged that foot. He did. It's a traveling violation on Christie. Just outside 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. NBA All-Star 2025 is in San Francisco. Experience the All-Star action live by visiting NBAEvents.com or downloading the NBA Events app to get tickets. Curry will be playing in his 11th All-Star game, his 10th start. It's a Warriors record, appearing in his 11th All-Star game. Kyrie Irving was just announced this week. He'll replace his current teammate Anthony Davis as an All-Star. It's Irving's 9th appearance. Jimmy Butler been to 6 All-Star games previously. Podziemski tries to hit Santos, shot clock at 2. Butler with 1, long 2 on the way, not there. Ball batted around and secured by Dinwiddie. Offensive foul called here as Hardy pushed Looney.
And one thing about Jimmy Butler, you notice right away, it doesn't look like a guy that, missed a lot of time in Miami with the various suspensions. He hasn't had a lot of game action over the last month, but he's out here. And one of the things I think that they like about him and why they wanted to acquire him, his conditioning level, his willingness to run, his willingness to move without the basketball, without sacrificing the defensive end of the floor, and you're seeing that here early.
You mentioned the lack of playing time of late as he connects from mid-range. He didn't play from January 2nd until January 17th. Then he came back for a game and then was out again. His first game with the Warriors was his first game since January 21st. Minute to go here. Dallas by 3 in the first quarter. Tyler Kelly is on the floor right now, playing his 6th ever game, and he's only out there because of his size. 7-footer. Marshall, another mid-range shot, falls.
Najee Marshall's found his offense as well, over 15 a game over the last 5 after a really slow start shooting the basketball.
Moody challenged by Kelly, but he's able to put it home. About a 10-second difference in the game in shot clocks. Pull-up jumper from Marshall, no good. And Looney rebounds. Golden State can hold for the final shot. Dallas shooting 65% from the floor, 4 of 7 from behind the arc. Golden State 52% from the field. Shot clock at 3. Moody catch and shoot, fouled on the triple try. What a mistake by Hardy with a second to go, sending him to the line for 3 free throws. Second foul on Hardy.
Yeah, mistake you just cannot make on that closeout. And Golden State got Dallas into a shift by running ball screen with Butler and putting him right there at the top of the key. That's a set play designed to give him space to go one-on-one with a flat set. Dallas overreacted on their shift to that. It leaves the wing open, but the closeout is just far too aggressive in that situation.
Moody not a great free throw shooter, around 72%. He's got one more. I think Podziemski thought maybe it was just a 2-shot. That's why he ran
Well,
in
he
there.
either thought there was only 2 shots or he really wanted to give that ball to the official. I don't know which it is. I mean, that's going back to your ball boy days, maybe when he was a kid. He wanted that basketball to hand to the official.
2 out of 3 for Moody. Cuts the deficit to 1 with 1.2 on the clock. And Hardy lost it off his foot. That ends the opening quarter. Golden State had 13 bench points and down 1 after 1.
High-scoring first quarter. Jimmy Butler, the new look in a Warriors uniform, and Kyrie Irving's been doing this as long as we can remember.
It's time for tonight's Access, brought to you by Red Lobster. We're here with Steve Kerr, the head coach of the Golden State Warriors. 1-point ball game. It's only Butler's 3rd game. He's out there with this group without Steph. How do you use him as a hub offensively out there?
We throw him the ball. He's a great passer. He's good in the post. He finds people on the perimeter. So we're trying to get him the ball as much as possible.
Kyrie Irving, 11 points in that first quarter. How do you try to limit his effectiveness?
I've been trying to figure that out for about 10 years. So he's a great player. He's going to get his. We can't foul him. We can't throw the ball away in transition and hand them transition points. We have to be rock solid, and I didn't think we were solid in that first quarter.
Steve, good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, guys, back to you.
Well, right on cue, George, with Thompson hitting his 3rd 3. There was a time where that was shocking, seeing Klay Thompson in a Maverick uniform. That is so yesterday's news when we're here tonight not seeing Luka Doncic hadn't played since Christmas, but still not even seeing him on the bench. Given what he had meant to this franchise in his first 7 seasons here and getting them to the finals last year before one of the most stunning trades in sports history just over a week ago.
You can't overstate the enormity of it. People here still shocked, dazed, trying to wrap their head around it. I still can't wrap my head around it. It's not something that I agree with, no matter what the conditions that we're given. You're talking about one of the most dominant offensive forces, really, that this league has seen. And he's 25 and had taken a team to the NBA Finals. Those types of talents, they just do not become available in this league by the team's choosing. It just doesn't happen, and yet here it has happened. And Luka Doncic has moved on, and you start this new era, and the fans here, I think, are going to take a long time to get used to not seeing him and the entertainment value that he provided for them as well.
Foul on Thompson, 3-point chance here for Butler. You and I were there Monday night watching Luka Doncic, who played very well in his first game as a Laker in limited duty. How do you ultimately think that's going to play out, him and LeBron James working together, and how are the Lakers better because of that?
Listen, you now have, I think, 2 of the top 3 overall offense creators in the NBA playing on the same team. As Klay Thompson just continues to cook. This has been going on now for a few weeks.
And he scored 8 straight points for Dallas, and he's got 14 right now against his former team. By Chime.
Yeah, hot start for this game for both teams, but nobody hotter than Klay Thompson right now. Like said he's in a great rhythm. In fact, probably the best stretch consistently shooting the three that he has had since he left Golden State. And right now, this looks a lot like it did when he was playing for the Warriors.
4 of 6 from 3 in this game, so he's got 65 points in just over 2 games against his former team.
And you can just see how aggressively he is hunting down shots. He's feeling good physically. He's in rhythm, and the Mavericks are finding him right now.
He's still number 2 in Warriors history in made threes, behind only obviously Curry, and he's number 6 all-time in scoring for Golden State as Post knocks down a 3.
41% three-point shooter, Quentin Post. He has just given them something they desperately needed. A big that could stretch the floor. It makes teams guard them a lot differently, which creates space for Curry and now Butler.
3 off the mark. Out of bounds. Last touched by Golden State.
Yeah, I mean, this is, your 7-footer in the corner. Watch how quickly this ball hits his hand and is gone. That's actually very reminiscent of Klay Thompson when he was wearing a Warriors uniform. Never dropped that at all.
Thompson misses there, so 4 of 7 now from 3. Already 7 attempts and just over a quarter play. Here's Butler, his 3rd game as a member of the Warriors after being traded by Miami. Podziemski gets to the rim, but blows the layup. Thompson boards it and looks to push. Klay attacking Draymond Green, missed the lefty lay-in, and then crashes into camera operator in the front row. So a 5-on-4, and Green, he misses a layup. Long pass down court. Thompson shovels it Edwards. Brandon Williams wide open. Drills a 3.
And everywhere across America, youth basketball coaches are screaming about using the backboard on finger rolls. Get that thing up on the glass. Podziemski and Draymond back to back over the front of the rim. Kick out, and you lead to a 3 going the other way.
Butler got great position deep. Missed it the first time. And gets it knocked away by Williams. Great defense by Brandon Williams. Not played a ton of minutes this year as Butler reaches in with Williams faking and driving. And it's the first foul on the Warriors here in the quarter.
And the Warriors 4 opportunities around the rim in less than a minute. 2 missed uncontested layups, and then Jimmy Butler misses the first one, but able to stay with it. This is just great timing right there. The rake down without committing the foul.
3rd year for Brandon Williams in the NBA out of Arizona. Not a ton of minutes played, and getting an opportunity because of all the injuries. Not just in the front court for Dallas, but in the back court as well. Williams over the outstretched arm of Post, and he cans a 3.
Does not look like a guy that has not gotten a lot of burn. He comes into the game and immediately gets going, looking for his offense.
2 threes made in 2 possessions, and another turnover by Golden State. They're missing layups and coughing the ball up. Williams, corner 3. That's an air ball.
You know, this is the smallest lineup Dallas can possibly put on the floor. To see if Golden State can take advantage of getting the ball to Jimmy Butler somewhere in the post and letting him operate without a big on the floor.
Another giveaway, and Irving makes him pay in transition. Steve Kerr calls a timeout. The Mavericks lead is up to 12, and they're cheering and applauding here in Dallas. We haven't seen that in a while.
At the end of the day, fans like winning, and the Dallas Mavericks go up 12. Their defense triggering offense.
Welcome back to Dallas. The Mavs leading by 12 here in the 2nd quarter. I spoke to a bunch of season ticket holders here in Dallas and asked them about the Luka Doncic trade and just how they felt about it even today. The most common phrases I heard were heartbroken, saddened, still shocked. One fan was still watching Luka right now as we speak. He was watching the Lakers game against the Utah Jazz, and he said, I'm still going to support him no matter where he is. Another fan telling me that when he returns here on April 9th, that they want to show him all the love, that there's no hate. They love him to death, that they want to make sure that he feels all that love. Despite all that, though, the one common thread, though, guys, all these fans told me they'll miss him, They're sad that he's gone. They're frustrated that he's gone, but they are still Mavs fans. So to your point, Dave, you saw the cheering here. These people are still into this team.
No question. And the atmosphere might be more tame tonight, a little bit more serene as it's setting in that it's not going to change. Doncic isn't here anymore. They will go to LA, the Mavs will, after the All-Star break on Feb 25. And then George mentioned the game that everybody has circled here in Dallas as Williams gets the lay, and he's got 8 off the bench at April 9th meeting.
That's going to be something to see when Luka finally comes back here. One meeting before that as well.
Jump ball, good play defensively that time by Edwards.
Great hands, but Dallas around the rim right now. Golden State just missing out on opportunities point blank over the last couple of minutes.
So, Legs, as you look at the defensive play, one of the reasons, well, the biggest reason that Mavs fans are upset is Luka Doncic does things that most players in the NBA can't do. So when you heard about the trade and you're kind of watching Dallas now without him and the Lakers with him, what's the biggest thing that the Mavs are missing without Doncic, regardless of who they have instead?
Well, I just think Luka Doncic is one of those talents, and people here in Dallas unlikely ever to see a talent quite like him again, potentially, in a Mavericks uniform. His ability to control the game with his size, his pace, his shooting, his playmaking, it was really just so unique and gave you a chance every night against any defense that you saw. There was no matchup for Luka, no personnel, no game plan. Didn't matter. He could beat all of that, and you knew that going in every night as a Dallas fan. And just the flair and the entertainment, that was in addition to it. But it's just the talent. That is what just, you know, made your eyes pop out of your head when you watched him. You'd never really seen anything quite like it here, what he has accomplished over the last several years at that age to do what he did, Dave.
So what will suffice for Mavs fans? Multiple championships without Luka Doncic, without Luka winning one in Los Angeles? How do they eventually get over this, if they ever get over it?
I'm going to tell you, for some fans, I don't know that it would matter. I don't know that for some fans, you know, trading off a championship over the next 3 to 4 years with what they did would make up for it, because they would say, hey, well, maybe we could have done that with Luka too, and have this guy that is a top 5 first team All-NBA player year in, year out. And look, it comes down to this. The Dallas Mavericks are banking on the fact that Luka Doncic is not going to fully commit to the extent that he does off the court, conditioning, all of the things you've heard about, to such an extent to max out who he is to lead this franchise to a championship or multiple championships. That's what they're betting against. The Los Angeles Lakers feel differently. They think he can win with LeBron now and certainly be the cornerstone for their franchise going forward.
The messaging, whether it's been publicly from Nico Harrison in his 4th year as the general manager, or probably more specifically the owner, Patrick Dumont, that has not helped the situation here in Dallas, as Curry has it knocked away. It'll stay with Golden State.
Look, all trades get judged in a variety of stages. First is the initial reaction, which we know how everybody's shocked about this one. Then there's the short-term reaction to see how each team plays early, longer-term reaction over the next few years, and then finally historical reaction. You know, well after both of these guys are done, you'll be looking back on this trade. And I just think one thing the Mavs were short-sighted on, in my opinion, Luka's playoff performance.
Prosper missed the dunk, challenged by Payton, but Doncic led them to the finals. They were a 50-win team. They were the 5 seed, and they went to the finals last year. Thrown out of bounds there by Santos. Steve Kerr thought there should have been a foul, and that's why it was turned over.
There's a wild sequence right there, and you see Steve Kerr upset, thinking that there was a grab that led to that pass. But to continue this on Luka, you know, you're talking about a guy that averaged almost 31 points a game in the playoffs. I mean, he felt like there were nights he carried them by himself to improbable victories during that stretch, and that is just a characteristic that is so hard to find. A pressure player like Luka Doncic, and we won't know how they're going to miss that till they get to the playoffs.
Curry off the mark on the threes, 1 for 5 from deep, 5 points so far in the game. Dallas by 11, 5 minutes to play in the half. Irving banks home the floater. Kyrie Irving with 15 points to lead all scores. Klay Thompson has 14, so 29 for those two. The Warriors as a team at 39. Payton the cutter with the slam. Looney finds him.
That's the Steph Curry effect right there. Coming off the screen, taking 2 with him. Great pocket pass to Looney. And then that's the rare weak side cut on that exact action when the ball goes middle. Gary Payton saw a seam and took advantage of it.
Great finish by Christie at the rim. It's an excellent shooter, but you saw the handle and the ability to finish around the rim there. Curry, underhand lob to Payton, who catches but can't finish. Another missed layup. That's at least 5 by the Warriors. Thompson splitting the double. Over the head pass to a corner three that's not there for Marshall. Dallas still shooting 55% from the floor and just under 50 from 3. Curry, reverse layup is good. And that is Steph's 3rd basket, 7th point. He has 5 assists. Christie again driving, has it rejected by Looney, out of bounds.
Well timed by Looney. That time Christie went hard middle, thought he had a spin back for an uncontested layup. Kevon Looney with the reach and perfect extension to get that block without fouling.
Butler and Draymond Green back on the floor for Golden State. Butler with 6 points. Green with 4, no rebounds yet, 1 assist for Draymond.
So you saw the rotation for Steve Kerr. You got Butler and Curry together at the start. Butler comes out, Curry comes in, Curry comes back in for Butler, and then now they finish the half together.
Draymond Green not happy with Jonathan Sterling, thought he was fouled when he deflected the ball out of bounds. Draymond's been simmering close to the line of late. It's Green's 6th game back after missing 10 of 11.
Steve Kerr tried to frame that as enthusiasm. You know, Draymond is into it right now. He's re-energized.
Christie beats the shot clock buzzer with a long 2. Max Christie, 9 points in his first start as a Maverick, came off the bench in the previous 4 games. Oh, nice pass by Green, and Butler with the jam.
Max Christie coming into this game had made 12 of his 19 threes since he got here, and that was really something that wasn't really exposed in LA. He was more out there to defend. He started to get more comfortable with his confidence, but he is now really exploring his ability as a shooter and a spacer.
Irving unable to get that one to drop. Inside 3 minutes to go in the half. Tough pass to handle from Moody, but he had enough time to collect and set his feet, but he still misfired on the triple try, and it's Dallas ball. Dinwiddie spins deep on Hield, who reaches in and commits the foul. Second on Golden State. Free throws coming up for Dinwiddie. First personal on Buddy Hield. Coming up on the halftime report presented by Hyundai. Malika and the crew breaking down the first half of this game. Everybody playing in the NBA tonight, so some terrific games. Got an OT thriller between the Knicks and the Hawks. Oklahoma City running its winning streak to 7 games. Got a handful of games tomorrow and the final game before the All-Star break, and then we'll reconvene for regular season games next Friday. The Warriors will be in Houston tomorrow night. That will end a 6-game road trip. They'll start back up next Friday at Sacramento. Dallas is here tomorrow night against Jimmy Butler's former team, the Miami Heat.
I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say this collectively is the shortest 10-man lineup you'll see on an NBA court all season. All guards and, for the most part, small forwards.
Yeah, the tallest guy out there is probably Butler at 6'7". He's an inch taller than Draymond Green. So it was a shot clock violation on Max Christie. Did not get it away in time. So they took that bucket away. It's 55-45 Dallas. Just outside 2 to play here in the half. Green cutting and laying it home.
Yeah, Steph Curry coming off that down screen up the middle. As so often happens, you miscommunicate that because of his threat level. 2 defenders jump out. Draymond with an easy slip.
Butler against Irving. Irving goes away from the screen. Marshall now into the chest of Podziemski, goes up and gets the roll. Najee Marshall, 16 points per game his last 4. Butler got deep position. Well done, though, by Kyrie Irving to knock that ball out of bounds. Let's take a look at that shot that was. Yep, you see the ball still in Christie's hand, so no basket there.
Still in the fingertips. Very difficult to pick that up in real time.
Well, official getting between Marshall and Draymond Green because of the physical contact for the inbound pass. Again, Green on the cut. Healed in the corner. And that one hit the side of the backboard, but a lucky bounce right to Podziemski.
Yeah, Kyrie Irving put his hand in the air there. He knows that was him. He just did not turn and find Podziemski and just get a little chip on him at the three-point line so he doesn't have a free run to the rim to pick up that change.
Most of the scoring as Irving is fouled, and for Dallas has been by 2 guys, Irving and Thompson. They've combined for 29. Meanwhile, everybody that's played for Golden State except one guy has scored, yet Jimmy Butler's the leading scorer with 8. So much more balance offensively for the Warriors, and a 2-man show right now for the Mavs as that's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Irving.
The one thing Dallas has done a great job of is defending Golden State, and particularly Jimmy Butler, without fouling him. He has been to the line 28 times in the 2 games since he came to Golden State and has not been able to get unlocked from there to this point.
Yeah, the Warriors as a team only have 6 attempts. Curry able to finish through a little contact on the bank, and then Podziemski gets the steal. Curry calling for it. Here's the skip. Steph with a blow by. The kick out to Green. Curry relocates, fires, can't drill it. Ball batted out. Butler saves. Curry again. That time he drills it. And the Warriors back within 3.
You know, you give that man the same shot in the same place without moving his feet. That's going to be the end result.
They were down 14 earlier in the quarter. Curry starting to heat up. He's got 12, 2 threes. Christie throws it out of bounds. And they're saying it was touched last by Golden State. I did not see that. It looked like it was clearly a turnover. Steve Kerr is going to challenge it here with 6 on the shot clock. Rolling on the floor is Dallas ball, but it doesn't look like anybody touches it. May have been a foul there on Curry, but didn't look like he touched the ball as Christie threw it out of play. So a challenge by Steve Kerr.
It looked like there's contact there from Curry on Christie's left arm, which would be like a proximate foul situation. But since they gave the ball back to Dallas, I'm not even sure that that's going to apply in this situation. Typically, the proximate foul would be if they ruled here that it was Golden State's ball and then Dallas challenged it. That's when the proximate foul would come in, indicating that the contact is what forced the turnover.
They're still looking at it. 20.1 seconds remaining in the half. Curry does have 2 fouls already. He's got 12 points, 5 assists. Important game. 3rd meeting of 4. They split the previous 2, and they're right now tied in the loss column. 26 losses each.
It has been determined that there is no foul proximate to the play by Steph Curry. Following that, Dallas throws the ball out of bounds. The ruling on the floor of Dallas possession has been overturned to Golden State possession. The game clock will be reset to 20.5. Golden State keeps their timeout, and they have 1 challenge remaining.
James Williams, excellent description there. Covered everything, so.
Very good. So they're just basically saying that contact right there on Max Christie's left arm does not constitute a foul. Therefore, it goes off Christie last.
So a chance for the Warriors to tie the game, maybe going to halftime.
It's a great spurt here over this last 3 minutes. Activity defensively has been good, and execution and getting second shots down here has helped.
13-3 run for the Warriors. 9 seconds to go. Curry drives, got it blocked. Loose ball, and Butler comes away with it. Green with 3 seconds left. Gets to the cup and lays it home. 1 second to go. And Prosper won't even try it. A 15-3 close to the second quarter by the Golden State Warriors, trying to win their third straight game. That hasn't happened since mid-November. And the former Splash Brothers, the two stars, along with Kyrie Irving, Thompson with 14, Curry with 12. It's a one-point game. The Hyundai halftime report coming up after the break. Wednesday presented by State Farm. The Warriors led for just 14 seconds, trailed by as many as 14, but down 1 as we get ready to start the third. Our first half stats brought to you by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. Curry with 12 points. He had 7 during a 15-3 run over the final 4 minutes. Jimmy Butler, as we look at our Star Watch, brought to you by T-Mobile, on pace for a triple-double in his third game as a Warrior.
Draymond Green using Jimmy Butler right there to draw attention. The easy one right down Main Street. And here they're going to get Jimmy Butler involved a lot in the post. Too big, too strong for most guards to play him. And then this is just Steph Curry. Great vision, perfect advance pass. Jimmy Butler, easiest 2 of the night.
With more on the Warriors, here's George.
Thanks, Dave. The Warriors are going to change their lineup here to start the second half. They're going to go small. Quentin Post out, Moses Moody in, so Draymond will be at center. When I spoke to Steve Kerr, he just said that he thought that would help them defensively, particularly at the point of attack. And also, he felt like they needed to clean up just some of the turnovers and just kind of the wild play on offense as well. But the biggest thing was cleaning up defensively, and that's why Moody will start this half game.
And George, this was the starting 5 in their win over Milwaukee on Monday. They're 2-0 since they got Jimmy Butler and since he's played. 8 points for Draymond Green in that first half. Klay Thompson with 14. How about Olivier Prosper, who's the tallest player on the floor at 6'8" for Dallas? He had 6 assists in that first half. Shot clock at 1, and it's going to be a foul on Curry before the buzzer, and that will be 3 personal fouls on Curry. They're going to go to the monitor here and see if the foul occurred before the shot clock violation. Meanwhile, Max Christie holding the back of his head. Mavs can't afford to lose anybody else.
I didn't like this call. I thought Steph Curry really anticipated that. As that ball was in the air, Steph Curry's sliding. There's contact there.
The play is under review to see if the foul occurs prior to the expiration of the shot clock.
So they'll take a look. Again, Dallas, for people that may not have tuned in at the start of the telecast, they're down 3 starters. With Anthony Davis out, Daniel Gafford out, P.J. Washington out, so Dante Exum was going to start, but then he's out as well. So Christie getting his first start. Curry disagreed with the call. Right now, that doesn't matter. All that matters is, was it called prior to the shot clock violation?
I thought his anticipation was really good on that. That's not going to be the issue, whether it's a foul or not. Did the clock run out?
After review, it has been determined that the defender makes illegal contact with the dribbler with 11:36 and .1 on the shot clock. Therefore, the foul stands as called. Defensive foul, side out, Dallas.
Now, Steve Kerr still has a challenge because he won his challenge in the first half, but he's going to save it here. That is the 3rd foul on Curry, though.
Double dose of bad luck. Sliding slightly. You see the contact. They were looking at the shot clock. Clearly, the contact does take place before the expiration of the shot clock, and that's what they were reviewing, not whether there was a foul or not. Thought Curry timed that up pretty good. Not a lot of contact on that for him to draw his 3rd foul.
So 14 on the shot clock. That's what it resets to after the defensive foul. Butler against Kyrie Irving. Irving putting it on the deck and kisses it home. +1. What a shot by Kyrie Irving. At age 32 in year 14, just as nifty with the basketball.
And Warriors start small because they want more switchability, but as a result, there's just not a lot of size to look at for any of these Dallas Mavericks perimeter players. So if you can put your head down and get an angle on somebody, you're not going to meet a lot of resistance in that paint. Kyrie Irving knew that, shifted hands, was able to get it to go.
Second foul on Butler. Thought it was interesting. Jason Kidd a couple weeks ago said Kyrie Irving has really grown as a leader. So we asked him before the game, how about now, given all of the movement and the injuries? And Kidd said Kyrie's been great. He's been an encourager, been an excellent teammate. And with all the young guys on the roster, according to Kidd, he's really had an impact. And here he is racing up the floor with his team up 4. Klay Thompson hit 4 threes in that first half against his former team. Kicks it out to Christie. Bounces it down low. Edwards, the easy 2.
And you see right there, you're taking advantage of Draymond as the backline defender. He'd much rather come up and try to take a charge. Exactly what he does here. Dallas makes the extra pass. Golden State timeout to adjust.
During the commercial, Steve Kerr came out to midcourt to have a conversation with James Williams. It escalated. Kerr got a technical foul and had to be held back by assistant coach Terry Stotts, and a little bit from Draymond Green to avoid getting a second technical and an ejection.
Yeah, Steve Kerr was laying out the case for the last 3 plays. The foul on Curry we talked about. He didn't think that was a foul. Jimmy Butler then gets called for a foul in the and one, which was minimal contact. And then he thought Jimmy Butler got held on the post-entry pass that went out of bounds.
Irving gets the free throw. Here's George.
Legs, you've nailed it. That's exactly what he was telling his staff right there, that he was holding on to Jimmy Butler, and he was emphatic about it. He was still hot about it, cursing up a storm out there, saying it was unbelievable. He couldn't believe that they couldn't see that.
When cooler heads are prevailing and the cooler head is Draymond Green, you know Steve Kerr is pretty hot. Moody driving, hangs, and finishes off the window as Irving went straight up and they were chest to chest.
Strong finish, hanging in the air. Kyrie Irving got over there nicely and got vertical. Moody had to get creative on that finish.
That's 9 for Moody, right at his season high, which is a season average rather, which is a career high. Irving up top 3, spins out, rebound Moody. One more game for each team before the All-Star break. Mavs are home to Miami tomorrow. The Warriors will be in Houston tomorrow night. Each team at 26 losses, tied for 8th in the West in that department. Moody, wide open corner shot, short on the 3. Christie with a rebound. Warriors have won 2 in a row at Chicago, at Milwaukee. The last time they won 3 straight games, November 10th to November 15th. Remember, they started 12-3, but they're 15-23 since. One of the worst records in the NBA during that span. A forced turnover, lob Curry, and too tall for Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Steph with the good hands on Klay for the steal, but just a little too high for Jimmy Butler to convert.
Turnover number 8 on Golden State. And a foul 25 feet away from the goal by Buddy Hield. 2 on him, 3 on the Warriors.
Kyrie shaking his head a little bit at Buddy Hield, saying, you're not going to get me on an island like that, and I'm not going to get something good out of it. And he sold it pretty well with the head, but Buddy Hield got caught reaching.
Prosper. Bodies hit the floor. Could have easily called an offensive foul on Prosper, knocking Green to the ground. Gets the basket. Dallas by 7, 65-58. Butler kept the pivot foot down as he dislodged Irving. Hield puts it on the deck, goes to the left, flips it up. No, ball batted around Moody, cleans it up for 2. Christie on the other end to Thompson, catch and shoot, good! Klay Thompson, 5th 3 of the game.
It's one of those situations, you're in the area, but when Klay Thompson is feeling it the way that he is, it doesn't matter. You've got to prevent him from catching it in the first place.
Over the last 10 games, Klay Thompson nearly shooting 50% from three. Got off to a little bit of a slow start with his new team, but he's found a rhythm here the last few weeks. Just turned 35. And we get another coach's challenge, this time by Jason Kidd on the out-of-bounds call. Meanwhile, Thompson with 17 points, 5 threes. Welcome back to NBA Wednesday, presented by State Farm. Successful challenge by Jason Kidd. It was last touched by Jimmy Butler, but Dallas is now out of challenges, and there's still 8.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Mavericks with an 8-point lead, 68-60 over Golden State. Dave Pasch, Tim Legler, George Sedano here in Big D. This is the 6th game for the Mavericks since their trade of Luka Doncic, essentially for Anthony Davis and Max Christie, who has it blocked by Green, and also Jimmy Butler's trade by Miami to the Warriors. Butler gets the rebound off the miss by Thompson. That's his 5th board. He has 6 assists and 8 points in his 3rd game as a Warrior. The Mavs are without Anthony Davis in this game as Green banks it home. Davis expected to miss several weeks with an adductor injury suffered Saturday.
Such a smart play by Draymond. Gets it in the post. Everybody expects him to be a passer out of the post, so instead goes to the quick spin and the easy layup.
Irving, a game-high 19 points, puts it up and nails a three-pointer. That is 2 threes now for Irving. Irving's obviously got a great handle, but he's also one of the all-time great shooters. When you consider there's only 8 guys who've gone 50, 40, 90, 50% from the floor, 40 from 3, 90 from the line. Kyrie's one of them, and he's flirting with it just about every year as he drills another one right on cue with the marksmanship, and the lead is back to 12.
Yeah, make no mistake. Kyrie Irving starts feeling it like that, he is going to run for the next one. He had no doubt in his mind coming off that handoff that he's going to pull another one. The trifecta.
Kyrie Irving taking over the game here in the 3rd. Mavs fans haven't had much to cheer about the last few games. 3 threes in 41 seconds for Kyrie Irving. Butler on the stick back.
Well, this is why the Mavericks organization believes they're still going to have an elite
Irving again from 30 feet and missed that time.
When you finally get AD back, but right now Kyrie is doing it all by himself.
Irving drives and kicks. Marshall waited for it. Hit the side of the rim, out of bounds to Golden State. Irving gonna get a much deserved breather.
Yeah, he asked for one. Only because he's exhausted from sprinting the court, running into shot after shot. Tried to get that 4th one, couldn't quite. You know, he has played 40 minutes or more 4 straight games. And obviously they're shorthanded right now. The size up front, the scoring prowess of Anthony Davis, another guy to run your offense through, so even more responsibility he's shouldering right now.
He's got 28 points. Curry's got 12, has not scored yet in the 2nd half, and we're at the midway point of the 3rd. From the elbow. And Curry, there's some contact. All out of bounds, though. Last touched by the Warriors. No foul call. NBA All-Star Weekend starts Friday in San Francisco. The celebrity game at ESPN. The ESPN app got Barry Bonds and Jerry Rice as the head coaches. It'll take place at Oakland Arena starting at 7 Eastern Time, 4 Pacific. Buddy Hield of the Warriors will take part in the 3-point contest. Several players from Golden State will be involved in the Rising Stars game. Christie over Curry, no good. Quick outlet to Curry in transition. Christie knows he wants to pull up for 3, so he met him out there at the stripe. Podziemski missed the layup. See how Dallas will survive without Irving, knowing he needs rest. Behind the back, Thompson to Marshall. Back to Clay. Step back 3, Thompson, no good. Batted out to Steph.
Well, right now, without Kyrie in the game, clearly no AD to go to. It is going to be Klay Thompson's motion and movement that they're going to try to utilize to start their offense.
Curry against Thompson. Play right there, and Curry throws it away. Curry upset with Buddy Hield on where he cut.
Upset with the cut. Good defense there by Klay Thompson on Steph Curry. Initially squared him up, prevented him from getting into his step back, and then Buddy Hield on the cut. I think Curry didn't think he was really trying to get the basketball, as if he wasn't expecting that pass.
Now the Mavericks are down 50 points per game. That's the total of the guys that are out. Yet they've scored 77. They're up 13. Prosper's had an excellent night, basically the starting center for the Mavericks, and most of it's been as a distributor with 6 assists. He also has a wild shot by Marshall, but it banks in. Curry on the other end. Hands it off for Payton. That's 2 threes for Gary Payton.
He's only been averaging like 11 minutes a game in the last 5. He has had his minutes cut a little bit, contributing for the three-point line in this one. Uncharacteristic.
Christie with another basket. He's got 9. Looney lobs for Payton, and the easy 2.
Problem right now for the Warriors is this end. They've got to get this basketball corralled. If you're going to go small, got to keep the ball out of the lane. Now they put Looney on the floor, but there's still more dribble penetration breaking down their defense.
Empty possession by Dallas. Euro step Pajemski. He scores, back to a 10-point game. It was a 1-point lead for Dallas at halftime. Extended it to 15. Warriors now getting back to 10. Got a timeout to get Kyrie Irving back on the floor. 3:27 to go here in the third. Subway, Kyrie Irving on fire in the quarter.
Yeah, Kyrie just putting on a show, taking over, gets the first one uncontested, and now it is on. Kyrie doing his work off the catch and then off the pull-up out of the backcourt, bringing this fans base to their feet.
A lot of fans changing their reactions to joy here tonight, but there still are some fans really upset. With more on that, let's check in with George.
Yeah, Dave, that's the case. Behind the basket to your right, there were several fans who had their signs taken away from them that had some derogatory stuff towards the organization. Now, the fans were not ejected, okay, so they were allowed to stay. The signs were taken away, and then there was one particular gentleman who had a T-shirt on with some explicit language directed towards the organization. He was told he had to cover it up or he would have to leave. He has covered it up and zipped up his jacket. When I spoke to fans in that area about kind of their frustration beyond the obvious with Luka, they talked about the lack of a haul and the return for Luka. That's another part of the frustration that they have around here, is just getting not only just Anthony Davis, one thing, he's a good player, but the 1 first-round pick, they felt like for a generational player, they should have gotten more, Mike.
And we'll look at some of the first-round picks that have been exchanged in recent trades. Mikal Bridges, Rudy Gobert, and I think that's something that certainly the Mavs organization is going to have to live with. That is, I don't think there's any haul that probably would have been enough for Luka, but certainly without exploring options around the league, you wouldn't have known exactly what the top bidder was going to give you.
Curry with the layup, his first points of the third quarter. So as the Mavs turn the page, assuming Anthony Davis is good for the playoffs and hopefully back before then, is this Mavs team better? Are they more dangerous? Because last year, they were pretty good in the playoffs. They made it to the finals. They rolled. They beat Oklahoma City, which had the best record in the West in the second round. They beat Minnesota in the conference finals in 5 games. Now, Anthony Davis has great numbers. He's won a championship with the Lakers, but is it a team upgrade?
Very difficult for me to take that leap and say better. They went to the finals a year ago. They ended up losing to inarguably the best team in the NBA. So for me to take that leap and looking at the landscape in the Western Conference, I'm not going to go there. They will be a very good team. Anthony Davis is a massive difference maker on both ends of the floor. They can play different lineups. two bigs together, which Jason Kidd feels like might be the way to a championship now in the NBA. When you look at Oklahoma City pairing two bigs together, you look at the East and what Cleveland does on a nightly basis with two bigs. He thinks more and more teams are going to start going to two bigs, so the look will be different. Defensively, they will be better. But when you take a guy that's that good in the postseason off your roster, it's hard for me to take that leap.
Curry for three, in and out. He did that earlier in the game, and it went back in. That one stayed out. He's 6 of 16, 2 of 8 from 3. Irving, no. Hit the court. Irving a little slow to get up, but he's okay. Still 5 on 4. Moody electing not to take the shot. That allowed Irving to get back defensively on Podziemski. 2-minute mark here in the third. Back to an 8-point game. And Curry gets fouled by Marshall. That's just the second team foul. Take a look at the upcoming All-Star schedule. NBA All-Star Practice presented by AT&T. Saturday on NBA TV, the NBA HBCU Classic presented by AT&T to follow. State Farm All-Star Saturday night for TNT. And on Sunday on TNT, the NBA All-Star Game. Again, Steph Curry will take part in his 11th All-Star Game, making his 10th start. They'll do it in front of the hometown fans. First time in 25 years the Bay Area hosts the All-Star Game. Looney at the high post takes the shot off target. And Irving with the basketball.
Important close to this quarter for Golden State. They've weathered the storm that Kyrie Irving gave them. Got into single digits again, but a beautiful drive. Najee Marshall right there.
Catch and shoot Moody, and he swishes it through for 3. And Moody with 14 points now, double figures in 12 of his last 14 games. He'll take part in the skills challenge of the All-Star Game. 4th-year pro out of Arkansas. Here's Irving moving to his left. Skip to the corner. Good look. Marshall can't knock it down. Curry on the bench right now here in the final minute of the third. Going to Butler. Butler baseline drive. And the shot way off. Offensive rebound, Santos. Moody again. That one no good. Podziemski there. He's an excellent rebounder. They're going to wave it off, though. Still a foul on Dallas. Only the first in the last 2 minutes. It's on Kyrie. That's 2 on him.
Golden State doing a great job with the collective offensive rebounding coming from all angles. Anybody that's got a free run to the rim, they're all crashing right now, giving themselves additional opportunities.
+6 offensive rebounds for Golden State. And again, without Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford hurt the other day. He's their starting center, knee injury. Monday against Sacramento, going to be out at least a couple weeks. Derek Lively's going to be out for a while. Ankle injury. Dwight Powell is still not available. Their whole front court basically decimated by injuries. Thompson turns and fires. The 3 not there. And here's Butler up the court. Picked up by Irving. Podziemski on the step back. The rainbow is not there. Edwards with the offensive rebound. Here's Brandon Williams. Gave Dallas good minutes in the first half. He got it blocked there by Moody, though. He had 2 blocks, Williams did, and 8 points. And just a short spurt at the end of the half.
Just tremendous defense by Moody, because Williams hit him with a great hesitation at the 3-point line. Moody is able to keep his balance, retreat, and then use that length to get a piece.
Butler on the drive. Moody from the corner, can't splash it through. The stick back, no. Looney the second time, no. And a foul called on that second attempt by Looney that didn't go in. So he'll be at the free throw line.
Well, you see the direct issue for the Mavericks with these small lineups. When you got all that size, not in uniform, this is a problem. And the raw numbers for the game aren't bad for Dallas. But in this stretch right here, after Dallas had looked like they took control when Kyrie Irving went off, the offensive rebounding has been a big factor here for Golden State in cutting into this lead.
Yeah, 20 to 8 second chance points in favor of Golden State. We already touched on the dominance on the offensive glass. Paint points 38 for Dallas, but a lot of those are Irving in transition. He's also obviously hit some threes, as we just showed you. Kevon Looney at the line. After Edwards picked up the foul. It's just the 7th attempt for the Warriors at the line. Only the 15th for the game combined.
All things considered, assuming Golden State doesn't allow some miracle shot to go in here, I think Steve Kerr, all things considered, is going to be feeling okay, because that third quarter barrage that Kyrie hit him with felt like Dallas should be up a lot more right now.
5-point game after 3. Kyrie Irving with 28 points, 13 in the third, but the Mavs lead is down to 5 with 1 quarter to play here in Big D.
Welcome back to NBA Wednesday, presented by State Farm. We're here with Jason Kidd, the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie Irving, the engine today, 28 points. What does he do, though, for the rest of the group?
He makes it easier, but we need him to go big again in the fourth quarter. But his leadership, he's keeping guys positive. He's telling them to attack. And again, he had a big first 3 quarters. We need him to have a big fourth.
Steph having a rare, inefficient night. How have you been able to kind of corral him?
Well, that's tough. We got a fourth quarter still to be played. So, again, we got to keep him off the three-point line and make him drive, and hopefully he misses a couple more shots.
J.K., good luck. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys, back to you.
But George, J. Kidd just said they needed another brilliant fourth quarter from Kyrie Irving. Off to a good start with that scoop and finish. He's got 30. Butler gets deep. And will go to the foul line.
Kyrie's one of the best finishing smaller guards this league has ever seen. His ability to manipulate the basketball in the air makes it so difficult to time up how to contest it or block it or alter it at the rim, and he could do it with either hand as well.
And Jimmy Butler at the line. He's just 0 for 1 in this game. The previous 2 games, 23 of 28 with the Warriors. The Four Nations face-off continues tomorrow with our first game on ESPN and ESPN+. U.S. taking on Finland in Montreal, 8 Eastern. Coverage drops with the point at 7. We talked about Butler's ability to get to the foul line. That's something Steve Kerr talked about even before the trade, that they is looking to improve their roster, needed to find somebody that could get to the free throw line. And Butler does that as well as anybody.
It's easy points. It helps you set your defense. It also gives more opportunity to rest defensively for guys like Steph Curry to keep him fresher. So it's a big part of what Jimmy Butler brings to this team.
Irving thought Butler just committed a goaltending violation. Green in the short corner, back it down, tried to shovel it to Hield, and it was knocked out of bounds. And it didn't look like Draymond was real pleased with Hield. We've seen a couple times Hield's teammates not real thrilled with his cutting, and he struggled shooting the ball tonight, 1 of 6 from 3.
Hey, he's getting yelled at for his cuts. I think they should yell at him for his shooting, maybe, is right now. He needs to step up and contribute in this one. He had a great start to the season. 6 out of his first 7 games. He had 20 points. Incredibly hot start. He's had 1 20-point game the rest of the season.
Green's lob knocked away by Thompson, and you got to think they need Hield shooting. Golden State this year is not a great three-point shooting team. That's what Buddy Hield is there for. Williams with the step through, draws the foul on Draymond Green. That's the first on the Warriors in the quarter, and the first on Green. And so Williams, who's played under 20 games this year for Dallas, will be at the line.
Yeah, look, Buddy Hield and Draymond still trying to work it out on that cut. Buddy Hield trying to find out exactly what Draymond wanted him to do. Buddy Hield is critical to this team, to get back to your point. They just need his shooting, because he is one of those guys. He's streaky, and if he can give you that more consistently, it just, again, takes the pressure off of the other side of the floor where Steph Curry and potentially Jimmy Butler are operating. And now with Jimmy Butler, he's going to get even better looks because of the times that Butler posts up and draws double teams in the paint, particularly those nights when he's getting to the line. So Buddy Hield, so critical for this team, really has not gotten it going at all tonight.
They're a 36% three-point shooting team, the Warriors. That's the second worst of the Steve Kerr era, as Williams pokes it away. They're going to say a kick ball. Jason Kidd now has come onto the floor. Jason Goebel, the official, has to tell him to go back to the bench. We saw Steve Kerr get teed up earlier in the game. Now Draymond Green is in there also.
They're having a discussion here because the official on the ball is saying that this ball was deflected by his hand. James Williams came running in from further down the court to say it was kicked. It's off his foot.
Yeah, certainly
His
looks
foot
like
hit it first and then his hand hit. That's clearly a kick. This stops the ball dead in its tracks. So that is a kick. James Williams did see that correctly.
Officials are still having a lengthy conversation about that. And now they're changing the call.
I'm not sure what.
So you just saw Brandon Williams. He was smiling at us as if to say, yeah, we just got one. Oh, now we're being told 8-second violation, but there was 17 on the shot clock. Christie gets to the lane and gets to the basket, and Dallas back up 9. Timeout, Steve Kerr. A lot of confusion here in Dallas from the Warriors sideline.
The NBA on ESPN is presented all season long by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here in the nation's capital, a very busy night in the NBA. We'll have live reaction from Dallas here from Jason Kidd, Steve Kerr. Also how Luka and the Lakers did tonight in Utah. Not very good. Game of the night in the Garden, and what a comeback from OKC. We'll show you all that and more after this game. We'll visit with Tim Legler as well. Dave and Tim, back to you.
All right, Scotty, look forward to that. We still got a lot of time left here. Let's get an explanation from George on what actually happened, because we were confused as well as Steve Kerr as Curry misses a 3. George?
Dave, Legs, I spoke to Jason Goebel and James Williams at the break and asked them what transpired there. They said no 8-second violation, that there was an inadvertent whistle, and that's why they had to huddle up. So none of that play mattered in regards to the kickball, hence why Golden State got the ball, but it was because of an inadvertent whistle, not because of the kickball or an 8-second violation, as Williams scores the basket there, Dave.
All right, so thanks for the explanation, and the lead is now 11.
Still doesn't explain the fact that the ball was kicked before he deflected it with his hand. So unfortunate for Golden State because they give up a layup after all the confusion.
And Brandon Williams has 12 points off the bench in 12 minutes. Another missed layup by the Warriors. Draymond Green unable to score. Here's Klay Thompson, 17 points, 5 3-pointers. Kyrie with 30 points. Second straight game with 30. Loses the ball inside, taken away by Green.
That's just strength right there. Draymond Green ripping that ball away from Kyrie Irving after he took it a little bit too deep with the penetration.
Hill driving. Another missed layup. Butler with the putback. Butler with 14 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists in his 3rd game as a Golden State Warrior after the trade from the Heat. Here's Christie, who is part of the Luka trade, driving on Curry. Irving, wide open, lets it fly, and it's good. Kyrie Irving with 5 3-pointers and 33 points.
Yeah, Kyrie making him pay, but that is all caused again by getting beat off the dribble into the lane and causing rotation.
Excellent pass by Green to the high-flying Gary Payton for the easy stuff.
Again, now we're seeing both teams without a big on the court. So this floor is completely spread. Very little help behind you if you get beat off the dribble. Golden State's got to execute these switches the way that they just did on the first one.
And a double Irving. Finds Thompson. Long 3. Not there. Curry rebounds. Golden State trying to cut it to single figures again as Butler is fouled by Klay Thompson. 2nd team foul.
Now that last possession defensively for Golden State, rather than wait for the penetration to come to them, Draymond Green just sprinted across the court to get the ball out of Kyrie Irving's hands immediately on the sideline and live with the decision making on the weak side. Klay Thompson got a decent look, but it was a deep look and it forced a miss.
A lot of people were curious about the Green-Butler dynamic. How do you think that will ultimately play out as Curry misses another 3? He is 2 for 10
Well, I think ultimately where those two guys are going to be in sync is they're great communicators defensively, great versatility, and great anticipation. And I think there's going to be a lot of mutual respect for that end of the floor from Draymond Green toward Jimmy Butler.
Christie with the blow by. Hangs. Can't finish. It fell off the net, and then Prosper pokes it out of play. Golden State ball. A lot of people, when the trade was made for Butler, as he gets inside for 2 and a foul, a lot of people wondered, well, the Warriors need shooting. But if you look at Jimmy Butler's numbers in the playoffs, they're not gaudy in terms of three-point shooting, but he shot 35% from 3 over the course of his career in the playoffs. His numbers everywhere go way up in the playoffs.
He can have nights where he feels more comfortable if he makes some early mid-range shots where he can extend his range. But for the most part, this is where he has a problem. And particularly if you advance the ball the way Golden State just did, if you're a not back, it's similar in a lot of ways to the way you have to play Giannis early up the floor. If you don't have guys basically extended fingertip to fingertip to take away gaps, Jimmy Butler is going to eat up that space all night long and then physically play through you to try to get to the line.
He's happy. He got the 2-year big contract for over $100 million he was looking for from Miami. He's got 7 points here in the quarter, and the Warriors are back within 7 with 7:15 to play. Irving on the step back, hits another one. Kyrie Irving, 36 points.
Just too good. Moses Moody, or Buddy Hield rather, played that well.
What a pass by Curry to Butler. Will go back to the line.
Yeah, there's just nothing you can do about this one. I mean, Buddy Hield is right there in the space. Kyrie able to stop so quickly and put that ball behind his back as he steps away from the defender. Buddy Hield with a little shake of the head running down the court like, what more do you want me to do? There really isn't anything. A great player in this league gets feeling the way Kyrie Irving is right now. That basket looks a lot bigger.
And again, gets obviously a lot of notoriety for the handle, but an all-time great shooter. Again, when you look at that 50-40-90 club, another guy like that, Steve Nash. Steve Nash 4 times was a 50-40-90 guy. Known as a great passer, known as a guy with a great handle, but tremendous shooter as well.
Yeah, and Kyrie Irving can do it from every platform. That's how you get numbers like that. He's great, the mid-range off the dribble, tremendous finisher we've talked about. And obviously he can get going from the three-point line. He has not shot the ball particularly well from the 3 as of late. Just 7 for 25 on threes in his last 4 games coming in, but he got it going in this one.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler with 2 more free throws, up to 19 points now. Christie stumbles, and he got knocked down. It's a foul on Moody. 2 on the Warriors here in the quarter, 2 on Moody for the game.
Yeah, somehow, some way, despite the fact that Golden State really has not corralled Kyrie Irving, they only find themselves down 8. And it becomes a matter of consecutive possessions, being able to string together stops. Jimmy Butler's starting to get into a rhythm at the other end now, getting to the basket and getting to the line, but it starts here for Golden State to make a stand.
Irving on the catch. With Curry right there. Irving with a gorgeous step through, but he couldn't finish at the rim. Curry on the move. Just 14 points on the game. And stripped by Irving. Steph gets it back, fumbles it away. 3 on 2. Marshall out to Christie. Midway through the 4th quarter. Christie, contact, and no whistle. Basket counts though for Christie. Points for Christie in his first start as a Mav. Butler loses it as he's trying to drive and turns it over. Back-to-back giveaways by Golden State, 14 for the game.
Good pressure on the ball. Jimmy Butler turns a corner, just goes right off his knee, off the bounce. Nice job by Brandon Williams, staying in front.
And a timeout by Dallas. The Mavs trying to get to 3 games above 500, trying to send the Warriors back to 500. Barry Bonds and Jerry Rice, the head coaches from Oakland Arena, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Micah Parsons of the Cowboys with some throwdowns in the celebrity game last year. Here are the updated standings with the Lakers losing tonight to the Utah Jazz. Minnesota lost tonight. So you look at those teams at 26 losses. Those teams are just 3 back of 6. Top 6 don't have to play in the play-in tournament.
Yeah, you're talking about Dallas Golden State on the cusp of the play-in and being out of it, and that's why all these games matter. Tiebreakers, all of that. These teams are so tightly bunched together.
So another great Cowboy pass rusher, DeMarcus Ware. Prosper missed it at the rim, and it's rebounded by Curry. Looking to push. Golden State down 10 midway through the 4th. Warriors have more turnovers than field goals here in the quarter. Green penetrating baseline. Count the basket and one. A 3-point opportunity for Green, who's got 12 points on the night. Foul on Prosper, his second. 3rd team foul. Check that, 5th team foul. Warriors going to shoot free throws the rest of the game.
That's great recognition. Draymond Green saw that the help off of him was a little bit up the floor toward Curry's. That means when that ball was swung to him in the corner, that's just a difficult angle then to slide, recover, and get there and position yourself properly, sliding the entire time. 3-point play conversion for Draymond.
8th assist for Curry. The Warriors getting points at the stripe here in the 4th quarter, and again in the penalty for the rest of the game. Irving, 36 points to pace all scores. Out of the double team, his pass knocked away by Podziemski. Green pushing tempo, middle of the floor, and knocked out of bounds by Marshall. Each of these teams plays one more game before the All-Star break. Golden State heads to Houston. The Warriors host the Heat tomorrow night. One more meeting between these two teams. It's a week from Sunday on ABC in San Francisco. Curry for 3. 3rd three-pointer for Curry, and it's a 4-point game.
Yeah, Max Christie will learn. He had him defended well the first time, but when that ball went into the post, he turned his head for a split second, and it comes right back to Steph Curry.
6 quick Warrior points. They double Irving and almost got tied up. Marshall with the skip. Thompson, rhythm dribble. Can't answer for 3. And Draymond Green comes down with a loose ball as Edwards couldn't handle the rebound. Curry trying to get some airspace. Crosses over Christie. Can't bury the 3, though. Long rebound, Santos.
One of the few times Steph reacts as if he knows it's going in, and it doesn't end up that way.
Podziemski gets loose. All that attention around Curry on the perimeter, and Podziemski able to sneak past the defense and get an easy layup. 8-0 run. Christie fouled by Santos. That's the 3rd team foul. First on Santos.
Yeah, Dallas is going to have to tighten up things right now because Steph Curry's wreaking havoc with his shooting, but then also with just motion and the problems it creates. This happens so often with Steph Curry. 2 defenders jumping out toward him off of a screen, leaves that slip open.
Moody's defending Irving off the ball. Christie, pull-up jumper. Got it. Max Christie came over on the Luka Doncic trade with another 15-point game. He scored that in every game since joining the Mavs. Curry with the blow-by gets through 2 defenders and draws the foul. 2 free throws for Curry. It'll be his first trip to the line tonight.
Well, make no mistake. I mean, the talk obviously is about the Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis components in this trade and the long-term effects of that. But Dallas got themselves a player in Max Christie. I mean, he just looks confident. He's got great length and size for an off guard on the perimeter. He rose up in this critical situation in this game, went right over the top of Jimmy Butler on that mid-range game. Mavs fans are going to really like what Max Christie brings to the table.
It's the longest stretch of his career. It includes one game of the Lakers going over 15 points, and all 5 with the Mavs. Curry makes both free throws, and he's up to 19 points, and it's a 2-point game with 4 minutes to go. 19 for Curry, 19 for Butler, 36 for Irving, with no Anthony Davis, no P.J. Washington, and many others out for Dallas. Here's Edwards missing a 3 from the corner. Long rebound tracked down by Moody.
Golden State just running a trap at Kyrie to force it out of his hands. They'll live with Edwards shooting the basketball.
Curry gives Golden State the lead. Another 3-ball from Steph and a timeout by Dallas. First lead since the first couple minutes of the game.
Steph Curry is cooking at the right time for the Golden State Warriors. We've got a great finish headed your way. Steph Curry, for most of the night, they've done a pretty good job on it, but it doesn't take long for him to find some space and string together shots. The attention to detail has to be so high against Steph Curry. Cannot miscommunicate on these screens. Golden State finally takes the lead.
And the new tandem of Butler and Curry have owned the fourth quarter. They have combined for 17 points. And Golden State has the lead, 102-101. Moody guarding Irving off the ball, and there's a foul called. He still had one to give, so it'll be a side out of bounds. It's the third personal foul on Moody. 16 on the shot clock.
And I'm going to see here if Golden State continues to just run action and traffic at Kyrie Irving out of the perimeter to force somebody else to beat you.
Irving penetrating, falling away, can't knock it down. Backside board, Butler.
He got two again. Draymond Green that time stays with Kyrie and forces that very difficult fadeaway on the baseline.
13-2 run by Golden State. On the switch, you got Marshall defending Curry with a shot clock at 7. Now he backs off, lob to Butler. On the face-up, and the pull-up, in and out. Moody takes the rebound away. Out to Curry. Curry keeps the bounce, pulls it back out, spinning, driving. Missed the shot, hit the bottom of the backboard. Warriors thought there was a foul, and it's saved by Irving. Marshall fires to Christie, goes up for the slam, and he was met in midair by Draymond Green. Out of bounds to Dallas.
Tremendous timing by Draymond Green. It looked like Max Christie had the angle and the elevation. Draymond gives ground and still makes a play right at the rim.
Second block for Green. Thompson penetrates and kicks. Turn and fire. Clay, no. Short. Offensive rebound. Marshall. Now Irving on the wing. And a foul called. It was on a rip through. It's not going to be 3 free throws. They are over the limit, Golden State is, so it'll still be 2 free throws for Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, and Kyrie's smart to get his arms in there to draw that foul because you saw Jimmy Butler on a dead sprint coming over to try to get this double team and again force him to give it up. But you see Moody with his hand in there.
They just changed it to 3. I thought it was a rip through. Kyrie just convinced them it looked like that he went straight up. But it did look like that rule they put in for Kevin Durant many years ago, when you swing the ball through, they say it's not in the act of shooting. But they changed it. It's the 4th foul on Moody and 3 free throws for Irving.
Well, how many games have you and I done together this year? And we've seen this play so many times, and more often than not, it is called a rip through, and then 2 free throws off of that.
Again, Draymond agrees with us on and I mean,
yeah, that's what that looks like to me. I've seen that ruled far more often than not. Very similar action to that all year as a rip through, and that's what it looked like they were going with initially, but the conversation changes it.
Hard to tell from that angle, but
listen, it's a tough call because it's such a fine line. You know, that was just always a continuation on any kind of action like that. You were always going to get a shooting foul. They changed that rule, and sometimes it is very difficult to tell. It's a fine line between 3 free throws and then 2.
So Irving gets them all. He's got 39, and Dallas is up 2, just outside 2 minutes to play. Now Curry just hovering around the baseline. Now he'll come get it. And Irving races out to meet him. Shot clock at 10. Curry penetrates. Pajemski fires. Missed the 3. Curry sneaks in to get the offensive rebound. And the putback ties the game at 104. Steph Curry up to 24 points. He's had 4 consecutive 30-point games. Boy, Marshall was wide open. Didn't want to shoot the 3. Hands it off for Irving. He'll try it. And hit it. 42 for Kyrie. Dallas back up 3.
Golden State can't do any more than they are to try to limit Kyrie Irving's touches.
Green finds Butler, blocked. What a defensive play by Edwards, and then Christie turns it over. Numbers for the Warriors. Moody hangs, missed it, put back Butler. 1-point game, 1:23 to go.
And Christie took it to a really difficult spot by half court along the sideline. Gave it up, and again, the offensive rebounding by the guards of Golden State, a major factor.
Each team with 2 timeouts. Both teams in the penalty. Christie driving, fires underneath. Great defense by Draymond Green. Golden State ball. Curry running, Thompson trailing. Curry drives, leaves it for Pajemski. Kick out, Moody corner 3. Can't hit it. Defensive rebound, Thompson. And now Jason Kidd calls a timeout with the Mavs up 1. Kyrie Irving 7 of 10 from 3-point range, 42 points.
2 of the best defensive plays you are going to see at the rim by Draymond Green. We saw the block on the first one when Christie came in on the left side of the baseline. Draymond Green, again, your last line of defense there. Just doesn't get any better than this. Draymond, you're always in decision mode. Do I try to take a charge? He knew he was in the restricted area, goes up vertically, and again, forces the miss that leads to the action going the other way.
So with 53.9 left and Dallas ball, the Warriors, all the attention's going to be on Kyrie Irving. You don't have Anthony Davis. Obviously, Klay Thompson's going to be on the floor. What do you expect here from Jason Kidd?
Well, clearly you're going to utilize Kyrie Irving, but I think this is more about the reaction to what Golden State's about to do. I think Golden State has to blitz any ball screen with Kyrie Irving, and I think they have to do what they have been, which is run a defender out at him if he starts to get a one-on-one coverage out on the floor. They have left Kessler Edwards, they have left Najee Marshall. Neither one of those guys look like they really want to shoot the basketball. Force Dallas to play 4-on-3 or 3-on-2 on the weak side, but do everything you have to make sure Kyrie Irving gives it up.
Both these teams are going to stay small. Tallest player on the floor for either team, 6'7". Kyrie Irving with 7 threes, ties his most as a Maverick. This is his 3rd season in Dallas. He'll be in the All-Star game this weekend, his 9th appearance, replacing his injured teammate, Anthony Davis. 53.9 seconds on the game clock. Dallas with 1 timeout left. The Warriors have 2. Mavs by 1 point, and they have possession. They advance it after the timeout by Kidd. Shadowing Irving, he got 2 defenders. Irving gives it up to Christie. Now Thompson, quickly doubled. Christie, wide open. In and out on the 3. Marshall offensive rebound, has it taken away. Golden State ball down 1. Curry goes behind the back and fouled at midcourt by Marshall. And Curry's going to go to the free throw line.
Listen, if Draymond Green ever wants to make a case for Defensive Player of the Year, you could just submit the tape from the last 2 minutes. The 2 plays at the rim we showed you, but even right there, the play that he made after they forced the ball out of Kyrie Irving's hand and it got to the weak side, it looked like Klay Thompson was all alone to pull a 3. Draymond Green sprinted 15-20 feet to take that shot away, and then also had the rake down on the offensive rebound to get that strip that led to Golden State ball.
He's got 3 steals, 2 blocks. Steph Curry now with 25 points, 11 here in the 4th quarter. That ties the game. Seeking his 5th straight 30-point game for the first time in 9 years, and trying to give the Warriors their 3rd straight win for the first time since mid-November.
Not his best shooting night, just 9 of 23, but has he ever gotten it done in the 4th quarter?
He missed the second one, not even close. Boy, you rarely see it missed that badly by Curry. And a timeout by Dallas. So Jason Kidd uses his last timeout. 35.1 seconds remaining. About a 12-second difference in the game and shot clocks. Golden State with 2 timeouts left. All right, same question. If you're the Mavericks, you know the options are limited because of who's out, and you know where the attention's going to be defensively for Golden State.
And They are executing it to perfection right now. And it's not easy to pull off running out that far from the basket to get a trap to force the ball to be given up 40 feet out, because the rotation out of that, if you're the trapper, you've got a lot of distance to cover to get back and not leave your team exposed. But I think Golden State right now is banking on the fact that there are players on the floor for Dallas right now that aren't as comfortable taking that shot. And that is what Golden State is banking on. So I think they force it out of his hands, and they do the best you can to deny it back to Kyrie Irving.
Irving and Christie have the last 16 points for Dallas. Klay Thompson got off to a hot start. He's been quiet, though, of late. No points here in the fourth quarter, just 3 in the second half. Irving has 42 for the game, 14 here in the fourth. He had 13 in the third.
So I think the two guys you're looking at to leave would be Kessler Edwards, Najee Marshall. If Kyrie Irving gets his hands on the basketball, and then you zone up and just make sure you know where Klay Thompson is.
Thompson will inbound. Ayton is in the game to defend Kyrie Irving. Dallas out of timeouts. They go to double. Edwards drives and kicks to the corner. Marshall penetrates into the lane, goes up and puts it in. Dallas by 2. Timeout, Steve Kerr. 25.6 seconds left. Najee Marshall off the bench with 10 points, including that go-ahead bucket. 1 timeout left for the Warriors.
And once again, Golden State runs at Kyrie Irving. This time it's Steph Curry coming from the weak side. Great reversal, and this is Najee Marshall. I said he wasn't comfortable taking that 3. This is smart. Put it on the deck. You know who's in the lane. It's going to be smaller defenders. That time it was Steph Curry. Draymond Green was back there, but he never really had an angle to try to step up on that penetration. So Najee Marshall just got Steph Curry to a place where he could shoot over the top.
Golden State has a new option. Jimmy Butler. It's his 3rd game. We know how good he is in these situations, but you have the ultimate late game assassin in Steph Curry. Be interesting to see what Steve Kerr draws up here.
Yeah, 2 different ways you're going to go here. They might go to some sort of a direct, quick entry to Jimmy Butler in the short ISO or post area and let him go to work, knowing that Dallas is going to be reluctant to double team because of the 3-point shooting on the perimeter and the mistake he might make against Curry. Butler might get single coverage here, or you run that high action with Steph Curry coming off of something with Draymond Green to see if you can create a reaction where Draymond Green could possibly turn the corner, get into the lane, and make a play.
So the Warriors are going to inbound under their own basket. 25.6 seconds remaining. So about a 1.5 second difference in the game and the shot clocks. Bajemski will bring it up the floor and now give it to Butler. Butler drives into the chest of Irving. No whistle. Oh, now they call it. Offensive foul on Butler. No whistle initially, and James Williams blew his whistle. Said offensive foul, but Steve Kerr is going to challenge it. Used a challenge in the first half, but won it, so he gets a second one. Again, ruling on the court as an offensive foul on Butler.
Yeah, Steve Kerr didn't even look at the bench. He knew he had to take this challenge just based on the situation in the game.
That play is under further review.
Kyrie Irving does a pretty good job of getting over there. He's squared up. I don't see a lot of movement with his feet. I think there's a very good chance this call is going to stand.
If for some reason it's overturned, it's an and one. You're at the free throw line with a chance to give your team the lead, but I agree with you, it looks like Irving is in position.
Yeah, he's starting to slide in that direction to his left, but he stops just in time as Jimmy Butler is going to that step through to come back to the opposite direction. If Kyrie Irving slides even another 6-8 inches to his left, that contact is mostly going to be absorbed by his right shoulder, and that is going to be a more obvious block.
It has been determined that the defender establishes a legal guarding position in the dribbler's straight line path prior to contact. The ruling on the floor of an offensive foul stands as called. The challenge by Golden State is unsuccessful. They lose their timeout. They have no challenges remaining.
And no timeouts. Kyrie Irving as good as he's been on offense. Maybe the play of the game, his defense.
Give him credit for that defensive play. That's just tremendous instinct, staying with it, absorbing the contact. I do think Jimmy Butler, if he could have that back, he could have just kept going. Strong right hand. There was a gap there to get down the right side of the lane, and I think at that point, he's got Kyrie Irving on his left shoulder for an easy layup.
Now Golden State's out of timeouts, so they're going to have to foul at some point if they don't get a steal. There's still 17.6 seconds, so they probably don't want to foul Kyrie. Irving drives, almost lost the ball, bats it out, and they decide not to foul Brandon Williams. They foul Christie instead. And so Christie, who's shooting around 80% from the free throw line, will shoot 2. I thought Curry was going to run at Brandon Williams, who hasn't played a lot of games, doesn't have a lot of experience in these moments, but perhaps Steve Kerr said, that's somebody we don't want to foul.
Yeah, he has played well tonight, but that's still, he hasn't been in that situation like this in an NBA game, and these are 2 of the bigger free throws of Max Christie's career to this point.
He hits the first one. The other thing by not fouling Williams is you let about 3 more seconds off the clock. You're out of timeouts. You know, if he hits the free throw, do you have enough time for 2 possessions in 10.4 seconds?
I agree with you. Anybody outside of Kyrie Irving, as soon as he gives it up, take the foul immediately, save the time. I think at that point, you're just counting on somebody being able to give you one of these 2 free throws. Not much difference there to me between Brandon Williams and Christie, so I think they should have taken it right away.
Again, Golden State out of timeouts, no ability to advance. Christie trying to make it a 4-point game. Just his 5th game as a Maverick, coming over in the Doncic trade along with Anthony Davis, and he calmly drills it. Golden State down 4. Pajemski going to throw it the length of the court. Pass broken up. A turnover. The Mavs are going to win it. What a victory for Dallas, despite being incredibly short-handed against a Warrior team that looked very different with Jimmy Butler on the floor. Klay Thompson and Kyrie Irving embrace. What a show by Irving. And former teammates Curry and Klay Thompson share a moment as Dallas gets a big win, and they now are up in the series, which could be a factor should they finish tied in the standings, with both teams trying to get out of the play-in. Final score 111-107. Sports Center up next. For Tim Legler, George Sedano, Dave Pasching. So long from Big D. SVP up next.